Over the past 55 years, the mission of Maranatha has attracted nearly 90,000 volunteers to serve on mission trips. And these volunteers have worked in nearly 90 countries, helping to build churches and schools, renovate camps, organize children's programs, coordinate medical and dental clinics, and share the love of Jesus wherever they go. Yet in looking at the groups of volunteers, there was something that Maranatha leadership noticed: a gap in participation for certain age groups. There were plenty of high school students going on projects thanks to Ultimate Workout, Maranatha's mission trip for teenagers, and plenty of involvement from those age 60 and higher.
Actually, Carol Moses is the one who came up with the idea. She was working at Maranatha at the time, and she noticed that there were a lot of teenagers that went on Maranatha projects, but then retired people, and there was a big gap in between. So she said, would you help me brainstorm this? So she and I worked on it together.
Together, Carol, former Maranatha staff, and Steve came up with the idea of a family project. The goal was the same as any Maranatha project: to center the development of faith and community through the act of construction. But the way to go about it was designed entirely around accommodating families, including those with young children.
And the ideas that came out right away was you can't work 8 days on one project if you're a kid. So we created the day camp idea where you get 1 or 2 hour blocks of work, play, some kind of cultural experience, and some kind of service activity. And that has made the difference for families to be able to come.
The first project took place in Mexico in 1998 and welcomed about 50 volunteers, half of them children. Since then, the size and frequency of the projects has doubled in size. Now, Maranatha offers 2 family projects a year, one in the summer and another over the Christmas holiday. For the family project in June 2024 in Pucallpa, Peru, 125 volunteers of all ages gathered for a long list of tasks. They built a church, a Sabbath school classroom, painted 2 churches, ran 2 vacation Bible school programs in 2 neighborhoods, coordinated dental and medical clinics in 4 different locations, seeing nearly 2,000 patients over 6 days.
This is going to be a great portion of the 2.
And with a family project, you have not only well-trained providers, but you have teenagers who are able to do things they would never be able to do back in the States because of the laws that we have. But here they are mentoring these younger people, and some of these younger people decide, I want to go into this area for my vocation. And we think that's wonderful.
One of the dentists working at the clinic is Jonathan Vischer. He's been seeing patients and working with a first-year dental student on the project. His mentorship on this mission trip brings Jonathan full circle to a pivotal moment in his own life.
My first Maranatha experience was to Bremerton, Washington in 1991, I believe, and my grandparents brought me to build a church there. I was 11 years old, and I didn't do very much construction at the time, but it was fun, it was good, and they started doing a lot more projects, and then my parents started after that, and we just kept going.
Jonathan developed a knack for construction and eventually dropped out of high school as a teenager in order to pursue construction full-time. Then he went on another mission trip.
After doing a few Maranatha projects, I was asked to go on an Ultimate Workout. I don't know if it was at a Maranatha convention or somewhere, but as a construction superintendent. So I was on my first Ultimate Workout and had finished, gotten everything working and running well on the construction site. So I went over to look at the dental group and see what they were doing, and I was invited to pull a tooth. And that was kind of fun. It was really different, really out of my comfort zone. But it really made me think and decide to head towards dentistry as a career, to go back to high school and see if that's going to be a good thing. I think it would create a lot of options in my life and allow me to do things that I wanted to do.
Jonathan ended up graduating from high school, then going on to college and dental school. Today, he has a practice in Canada. He's continued to go on Maranatha projects, even ultimate workouts, to open a new world of service to teenagers, just as someone had for him so long ago. Now, he's on his 16th Maranatha project, but this time, for the first time, he's brought his family.
My name is Ilea Vischer. I'm 10. I'm here with my mom, Deborah, dad, Jonathan, sister, Alexis, and me. He's always been talking about we should go on a mission trip sometime, and we heard about this one in Peru, so we decided to sign up and come. He's told me that he's had a lot of fun laying block, and he's always wanted to do it with us.
This trip has been so excellent for them. They're having so much fun, and they're meeting other kids their age who I'm sure they'll know for a lifetime and serve with. But they're learning a lot. They're having fun. They don't need us. They don't see us. The program is really good. This is the first Maranatha family project that I've been on, and they have programs for the kids to expose them to all of the different things that are happening, from medical and dental service to construction to VBS programs and community outreach programs, and it's tailored for them.
For Jonathan, serving with his family has not only been his dream come true, but also his mother's.
She worked hard. She wanted to be a parent, and we were really poor growing up. And so it was all that she could do to get us on trips because she thought it was so important. And she would save like every penny we had and worked so hard to be able to get us to go on trips. She only came on a couple, and then she would send us, or with our grandparents or something. It's always been something that we've done, and my family's done, my grandparents have done. Last year, my mom died, and she had brought me on a lot, and that was always a big focus in life, and she just said, make sure you bring your girls. And so thinking about things big picture, and especially with losing family, it's really made it important, more important now when I lose loved ones, to raise my daughters so that we can see each other in heaven. And the service is a real part of that.
Already, even after less than 2 weeks, the mission experience has opened Ilea's eyes to not only new skills for herself, but a new perspective on God.
Maranatha creates a space for people of so many different types of backgrounds to put their Christianity into action and to find how they can serve with the skills that they have. The projects are always run so well and open and inclusive and encouraging for people. So it doesn't matter what skills you have, you're going to learn some. And it helps young people come and experience a lot of things so that it'll open their eyes to all the possibilities of their future and how that can tie into service in the church and how that can tie into service for God.
While Jonathan is growing his family's tradition of service, Allison is just starting her family's mission adventure as a mother, grandmother, and godmother to her extended family when we come back. The 2024 Family Project welcomed volunteers from all over the United States, Canada, and Peru, including 51 first-time volunteers. Among the first-timers, Allison Pratt, a nurse from Pennsylvania.
Well, I've been watching 3ABN, Hope Channel, all those Adventist programs on television for a really long time. And on Sabbath afternoon, sometimes that's all there is, Maranatha mission trips. And I've just been enamored by it, I guess. I loved watching. It's just me. So when I found out that there was a real thing for just the average citizen to go on a mission trip, that was when my grandson was about 2 years old, and he's 22 now, so 20 years ago. So for 20 years, I've wanted to go on a mission trip, but I've just been too busy with work and taking care of family members and just doing different things. It was never really a tangible option for me.
When Allison retired in 2020, COVID struck, putting her mission dreams on hold for a little longer, 4 years to be exact. Because in 2024, Allison saw an opportunity to go on the Maranatha Family Project to Pucallpa, Peru.
And when I saw it, I ran to my husband and I'm like, we're going finally, because I saved my coins and I'm ready to go. So I had enough money set aside for all my people to go.
All Allison's people included her husband, daughter, nephews, and godsons.
So the best thing about this whole thing is that it actually started on my 64th birthday. And so I don't like parties, I don't like surprises, but this has been the absolute best birthday ever because I have all my godsons except one, and then he's too little. And the only person missing is my grandson. I have all my boys, I have my one girl that I'm just so in love with, and my husband, so it's just perfect. There are 8 of us here.
During the day, the crew is spread out, working at different sites, from day camp for Mason, to painting for Dimitrik and Demetrius, to church construction for Charles and Ian. The one family member that Allison was with all day is her daughter, Jennifer.
I decided to change careers when I was 36 and to go back to nursing school. And a part of that was because I got to watch my mom her whole life working as a nurse. She supported me throughout my nursing school experience, and we've never had the opportunity to work together. So when we found out that we could sign up to work in the clinic, we were both like, we're going to get to work together. And so I know she is just like so happy about it, and it's been such a blessing watching her in her element serve, because she's an incredible nurse. So it's been just a great opportunity to work by her side in this capacity.
It's just been so incredible. We just complement each other. Where I'm weak, she's strong. Where she's weak, I'm strong. And it just comes together. When we're at that table and it can get super, super busy, if it's just the 2 of us, we can clear the line, lickety-split.
Serving together has also inspired ideas of how the mother-daughter duo can partner in more ways.
And my mom and I have talked about, again, working together, moving forward to serve women and do women's health. Maybe even going to a reservation. But we're going to work on some things and collaborate in the future, because I feel like there's a need, and I feel like we both feel like we call I was named God's nurse in nursing school, but I believe my mom is God's nurse, and wherever we can be a blessing, we want to do that. And I don't think that sometimes just working in the hospital is not enough. Sometimes you have to go to the people, and I feel like we both have that desire to serve and to offer our services in that way. We've never talked about it before. And perhaps being in this position and seeing how well we work together, maybe that was God's, reason for bringing us here, so that we could have that realization.
But Jennifer isn't the only one who's been impacted by her mom's gift of missions. Allison says she's gotten closer to her daughter and husband, and watched her extended family grow in numerous ways, including in Christ.
They all, I believe they all love Jesus. I believe they all have a relationship, but I think there's something about this trip that's making it more real, just making a relationship with Christ more real for them. And that's another really good thing about coming on a mission trip. It's just like a dream come true. It's so wonderful. I mean, I wish I had more to give, but to give my time this way, to be tired at the end of the day, and it's not from serving myself or from serving someone who just kind of takes it for granted that this is available to them. Like there's nothing like this. We're already ready to go on another one. All of us, we're all ready, yep.
When we come back, we'll meet a family who keeps growing in size and in lessons learned every time they come back. The Family Project welcomes a wide range of ages, and on this project, there was a spread from 8 to 90 years old. This diversity is what makes the Family Project so special and offers a great energy and intergenerational connection. One of the things we see often on these projects is the multi-generational family. This is Chris Guarin Adap.
We probably started seriously looking into Maranatha a couple of years before our daughter turned 12. We wanted our children to go on a mission trip before they reached the age of 13. We just thought, well, with Maranatha, before the age of 13, they get to experience day camp, as well as have the opportunity to experience a work as well. And so we didn't want to shock them by putting them straight to work. Yeah. And so back in, I would say about 2015, we were looking for opportunities. And the first project our family went on was my husband and my eldest daughter went to Maranatha Summer Family Project in Kenya in 2017.
After such glowing reports from Chris's eldest daughter and husband, the entire family decided to go together to the Dominican Republic Family Project in 2023. Chris, her husband Edsel, and their 3 daughters, Caitlin, Catherine, and Ella, plus Chris's parents.
That was absolutely amazing. We were one of, I think, 2 or 3 families with 3 generations there. We got to experience, I got to experience a trip of a lifetime with both my parents and my children. And just the service opportunities, the worships that Steve did, it really made a mark on us that we wanted to go on another trip. And so here we are in Peru.
This time, Chris's family extended to include 8 people, including Edsel's cousin Benny, his wife Amy, and Amy's parents. Together, they are one of the biggest family units on this year's project. But they've already learned that a family isn't just about bloodlines. On a Maranatha project, everyone becomes part of your family.
I will say that this Maranatha group, these people, they're your family. They're here to help you. With all the volunteers, it's incredible. I feel so comfortable just walking up to them and being like, hey, how was work? How was your day? What did you do? What's the craziest story you have from today? Even if I don't know their name. With the people that I do know their names, the friends I've made here, it's so fun. Like, I'm typically not a social person, especially when it comes to huge groups of new people. But this really opened me up. This helped me form friendships, and I have friends like across the world, across North America. And you just feel 100 times closer to God than you were at the beginning of the trip. I think it's important because as Adventists, we're called to bring the gospel to the world, to love everyone, right? And so Maranatha helps us with that. Not only does it teach us how to love people in other countries, but it also gives us an opportunity to do that. And then it teaches us skills that you can only learn through travel, like how to just be confident and how to travel and how to talk with people you don't really know so that you can come back home to where you're comfortable and make yourself uncomfortable. Like it helps you reach out more and step out of your comfort zone by doing these trips.
Amy Vitongkol Regoso is related to the Adap family by marriage. She is married to Edsel's cousin, Benny. While she and her parents had been on a Maranatha project before, this was her husband's first.
You know, it's been really great. I'm usually one to stay more in the background, both in my work, but even in church ministry. I play the piano, and I help with the sound system. And so he brought his travel guitar. He loves music, and we ended up being music leaders for different parts of worship, but also even in church. And it's been wonderful to be able to minister together in a different way than we're accustomed to at home. But we also got to paint and do construction and children's ministry. And so experiencing each different element that you can participate in a Maranatha project has been a real blessing. I feel like it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I think the wide range of ages, right? Ella, at her age, I think she's 11 right now, and my parents, they're nearing 80. It's just been amazing to see how we can connect to. I think having a bigger family group allows you to connect to even other families in different ways than you would if it was just Benny and myself.
But it wasn't just the volunteers being added to the Regoso family. Amy began to see how God was showing her a greater picture of family and His love for her.
So you asked if there was anything poignant. I think really touching for me is Betty and I don't have children of our own. We wanted children of our own, and as we've experienced life, we've seen that God has something different in store for us, and we have a peace. And I think being able to participate even just yesterday in children's ministry, and just having that opportunity to be with the children and feel the love, but also give them love. I think for me, that was one of the most touching pieces, and being able to do it together. It was really tough when we were trying to have kids. And whenever people asked the question, it was like, it always brought tears to my eyes. But I realized over time just the peace that God only can bring. And every time we have the opportunity to minister in that way, I think it reassures us that God has a plan. I think this has been part of the journey of just experiencing, God brings together families and family units in different ways, and they can be comprised of even an individual and couples without kids, but also parents and the young children. And I think that being able to participate in a family project really shows just how each person has value to add to the experience.
No matter what your age, no matter what your language, culture, background, God's family has a common purpose.
The reason why mission trips are so important to us is my husband and I would like to raise our children to have the heart of Christ and to have the character of Christ. And we firmly believe that a life of selfless service and mission just gives us a better glimpse into what Christ is like, because He Himself embodied a life of selfless service.
God's family are called to serve.
The real meaning in life is when you can give to others and be impactful and show them God's love. That'll fill all the voids in your life. It'll make your life so complete.
Service is the mission.
I feel like it really just opens the door and opens your eyes to both the need out there, but also the gifts I think that God has given to us that He wants us to share and develop more.
And the mission is what connects you to the world, to faith, to God.
No matter what country we go to, we find Adventists and it feels like we're home.